Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Tuesday. Holy moly, what's going on with this market right now? This market's just cray cray. It's just ranging. It's just cray cray. Now, I shared some news from Raul Paul's interview with Paul Barron about, him suggesting that Bitcoin has just now bottomed. Liquidity has just began to come into the space. And he's talking about an extended cycle. And in addition to the extended, if you will, cycle, possibility of an extended cycle, also that the 26, 27 bear possibly, which is what I think is more of a possibility than an extended cycle, is that the bear will be different because the institutions are coming, and so the bear market will be different in that, and I think someone in the channel had mentioned this as well, and that Bitcoin won't drop as much. What is it historically, 55, 65 in that range? It might drop perhaps less, 40, 45, 35 to 45 percent, even though the alts will still kind of do what it does. But the bear market might be um, a little different as well. So that's interesting. Maybe we'll go to Raw Paul in that interview with Paul Barron as well. I do want to. Paul Barron did ask about XRP. Doppler Finance reposted the segment where he talked about XRP. So we'll share that as well. Something we've been sharing on the channel, since our revelation to the whole thing, Metcalfe's law going up and to the right into the other network adoption curve. We'll share that as well. We'll go over the numbers on CoinGecko, but the market is still doing what the market does. This is the third or fourth time recently here lately that I've heard about Venus Protocol and XRP. Now, you guys probably remember we talked about Venus Protocol and XRP, and we looked at it. We took a look at it together because someone on the channel had mentioned Venus Protocol. I believe someone on the channel mentioned it. I believe, but somehow I discovered it. No, I discovered it on my own. And I'm like, who knows about this Venus Protocol? But I've heard a couple of people say, "Oh, my gosh, I just forgot that." I was going over I was doing some studying in DeFi, and my dude, um, well, he talked about how much he loved the Venus Protocol. I'm like, wait a minute, where have I heard Venus Protocol before? Yeah, they got XRP lending, and in fact, in the Doppler Finance AMA review that about to go over, I believe those guys over at Doppler mentioned Venus Protocol as well. Not telling you guys to go do something with your XRP there. I'm just saying I'm starting to hear more and more about Venus Protocol. So, but the main purpose of this video will be the Doppler Finance review for sure. That is for sure, because I want to go over that. We'll go over it together. I've only listened to maybe 5-7 minutes of the AMA. They get into the questions right away. They pulled 20 to 30 questions, I believe, and they go over them kind of one by one. They kind of get into it. You can definitely tell that these are some builder guys, right? These are some builder guys, probably not so comfortable um, uh, talking publicly, that type of deal. You can kind of tell that a little bit. But yeah, we're going to get into that review for sure. We'll let some people hop into the stream here. I appreciate you guys being here. Do me a favor, hit that like button. That would be awesome. And you know how we do? We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Appreciate you guys going here. I tagged Doppler Finance in this live stream. So just to let them know that I'm going to be kind of going over their AMA and kind of seeing what they got to say and kind of going from there. The first couple of minutes that I listened to it, I became a little bit more, um, it became a little bit more favorable to me and what they're looking to do, right? Still, for us in the CryptoCeej home, still the 1 to 5% allocation for us. But like Raul Paul is going to mention in this video, um, active users is still the win. It ain't great tech. It's active users on the blockchain. No matter how great the tech is, if you don't have active users on the chain, what does it matter? Like, what does it matter? All right. So guys, do me a favor again, hit that like button. And if you happen to be in that 55 or so percent of people that are listening to, watching, listening to, watching, and hanging out with the CryptoCeej. Do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. We're on a mad dash to get to 9,000 subs by end of this month. We're really, really close, 68, 70 subscribers away from that. And I know we can get there, especially with your help. All right, guys. So let me key up CoinGecko. Let me refresh that. Let me make sure that is up to date. The market manipulation in digital asset space is massive. I saw a post, maybe I'll share it with you guys if this is going to refresh, of the liquidity suck that happens from, you know, the insider trading, the sniping, you know, stuff that's going on in the meme coin space. That is tragic. That happens for sure. It really, really is. That's tragic. Very, very tragic that is going on. I'm trying to refresh CoinGecko and it's not oh, there it is. Refresh and make sure those numbers are correct. Go over the numbers real quick. All right, there it is. Ooh, 94 for BTC. What's going on? 94K for BTC. Let's go here. Let's do this. Go over these numbers real quick because I want to really get into this AMA. All right, according to CoinGecko, the cryptocurrency market cap is down 4.2% and is at $3.21 trillion. Bitcoin dominance roughly 59%. Look at Solana taking a big hit right there. What's going on? Jupiter, 70 cents. You know, it's all about, you know, like it's amazing to me how people don't get, especially you would think. But anyway, XRP people are not in the Solana ecosystem. But it's amazing to me how people miss, like they miss it. Like when you're thriving, people are going to attack you. They're going to try to take you down. What do you think? Aren't you guys familiar with the short scams that go on in the traditional financial market? It happens all the time where they try to take down a company, right? So they're trying to attack the Jupiter and the Meteor guys. Like it makes zero sense. And you get this kind of scam that comes out of kind of nowhere. I don't know what the Ben dude was doing. You know, there's a video apparently of some kind of stuff coming together, but that's unacceptable. That wasn't the founder doing it. There was you know, I don't know, maybe he was a co-founder, but manipulation is awful. You know, if you got someone in there who's intentionally trying to do stuff, that's not great. It should not reflect completely on the whole Solana ecosystem. I mean, I got a chart here of, you know, 75 to 100 projects that are non-meme coins in the Solana ecosystem. But anyhow, I digress. The Bitcoin is trading at $94,217 again. On the 30, Bitcoin's down 11%. Ethereum is trading at $2,631 again. Somebody was bragging, felt like bragging today. FTX harmed creditors. Apparently, I was a creditor because I keep getting emails that to do something, but I didn't have that much on there. I'm not messing around with that. So, if any, I don't know why, but anyway, probably because, you know, I had an account, but I didn't have any funds on there. I took my funds off. Ethereum is trading at $2,631. Someone from the FTX thing was saying, you know, the BTC people took a loss and, you know, some other people took a loss because they're doing it like they did Celsius. They're doing the Bitcoin price based on the time of the event of whatever that happened. And that's 18,000. And Ethereum at that time was 2,500, 2,600. This is years and years ago. And Ethereum is still there. So they're getting, they get the Ethereum price. The Ethereum holders are going to make out or not lose. So God bless them. XRP, $2.51, because that's the bankruptcy laws. The bankruptcy laws is not great for you if you're a creditor. It's unsecured creditors. Awful. Awful. They got to change their rules. Change those rules. XRP is trading at $2.51. It's down 22% in 30 days. Market is just something, isn't it? This market, I'm telling you, it is something. Solana's trading at $164 again. Solana's down nearly 40% on the 30 day. Nearly 40% on the 30 days. Solana's down. For me, this feels like a nice, dirty, nasty fiat to Solana purchase. It just really does. For me personally, in the CryptoCeej zone. I don't care if it's just $50. It's down 40%, 30 days. Anyhow, that's just me. I'm a Solana ecosystem fan. Dogecoin is trading at 25 cents. Again, Dogecoin is down 37% in the last 30 days. You see how this market's ranging? And the beloved Sui, it's under $3. It's under $3. I said I wanted to get some Sui under $3. Isn't that what I said? I said I want to get Sui under $3. And there it is, under $30. Let's see here, because I got to check the dirty nasty fiat account. Ugh. I try to put that dirty nasty fiat to work as soon as possible. See what we got going on here. Okay. Oh wow, what happened to okay, all right, we gotta see. Do I get some more sweet or do I get some more Solana? Huh. I gotta find out how much money. Do I have any extra money to spend? Any $10? No, I'm talking about in addition to the joint account. There's no there's no more dirty nasty if you have to go around. Oh my gosh. All right, so there it is. Sweets under $3, man. It's under $3. It's under $3. All right. So that's the market family. And it is doing what the market does. All right, let me go back into the live stream. What's going on, Leo Messi? How are you, bro? My volume is going in and out. Uh-oh, that's not good. What's going on? My volume is going in and out. Okay, yeah. Are you guys having the same issue, Crawfish, Leo Messi, on my volume going in and out? Getting better? Now, that might have been because I was talking with my head down, looking at my phone. That might have been it, Rick. Appreciate that, brother. Rick Cisneros says Sui is at a good price. Remember, Raul Paul said left his entire Solana position and went all in. No, I don't remember that. Did he say he left his entire Solana position and went all in on Sui? I did not remember that. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button on for me on the way in. That'd be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers on the stream. When you hit the like button and you comment on the videos, it helps to get the channel to more people out there hanging out on YouTube. I don't know, watching Duke basketball highlights, maybe? Or watching this adorable shorts of these two bulldogs. The bulldogs are the ones that can get kind of heavy in their short, right? That bulldogs, or is that another kind of? No, I'm not talking about the bulldog with the small head. I'm talking about the bulldog, a little bigger head. They're like real short, stubby dogs. Stubby, fat. Like, is that a bulldog or is that what's the name of that dog? Our friend Mike, who used to be with Lori, he had that dog. Is that a bull? Yeah. No, that was not a pit bull. No. It's that big sloppy looking dog, but it's short. I forget the name. But anyway, there's this lady on here who does on YouTube, she does these shorts and she's talking to her dogs. I think they're bulldogs. They're two little short dogs. And she talks to them like they're her children. It's hilarious to me how she talks to the dogs. And I mean like, in that kind of that tone, where maybe you might be reprimanding, or maybe you might be saying this is not how we behave as kids. It's hilarious. But in any case, it's funny to watch for sure. Crawfish, I appreciate you checking in, sir. Good morning, good afternoon to you. What's going on, B? Ski Mask Citizen says, good afternoon, Mr. CryptoCeej. What's going on, Ski Mask Citizen? Appreciate you checking in, sir. So we want to get into this Doppler AMA for sure, right? I mean, there's some good stuff on X, but let's go over this. Let's go over the Doppler AMA, kind of review this thing before. Uh, I mean, it's nice that the CBOE has filed an XRP ETF. All right, so you can see I listened to 12 minutes of this, but it didn't really get into anything until like for 3 minutes. So let me go back. It might even been 4 minutes. Let's go to 3. Let's go to 4, see if they started it at 4.
We received some concerns and questions from the community regarding the structure of Doppler finance. So we've organized this AMA to address those issues. So Doppler finance was launched under the narrative of XRP Fi. In this model, XRP holders deposit their XRP, and through a C DeFi strategy, yield is generated, then distributed back to the XRP depositors. While C DeFi products like Athena and BounceBit have experienced significant growth, these products have only been around for just a year. So therefore, it's completely natural for many people to have questions. And we believe it's our responsibility to explain these aspects clearly and to discuss the associated issues. So we prepared a few questions, and here's our first question. So one of the most frequently asked questions is about Doppler points. And although this question isn't directly related to CDFI, it's a topic that XRP depositors are particularly interested in. So what are DP points and how do they work?
Okay, hello everyone. My mic's working okay, right? So yeah, for a brief intro of me, Rox, I'm Rox, one of the co-founders for Doppler Finance, and let's just go straight into the answers. So your question was one of the most frequently asked questions is about Doppler points and like what are DPs and how they work, right? So in recent years, many crypto projects have implemented a point system, and that tracks early user contributions. And Doppler points work in a similar way. So users earn DP on Doppler Finance, and primarily through deposit-related actions. And these measures like how much a user has contributed throughout a campaign. And we can't like share more at the current stage. So the only thing I can say would be like stay tuned for more updates on the DP parts. And yeah, so that's my answer for this.
Great. So let's zoom out and look at a bigger picture. So many people also inquired about the future plans, the overall plan of Doppler Finance. Could you share more map or future plans, including staking and lending?
This was pretty good.
So Doppler Finance aims to develop a variety of the DeFi products, not only on the XRPL, but also on the sidechain closely connected with the XRPL. So first, we plan to launch a lending protocol on the Root network, an XRP Ledger sidechain in March. Additionally, a liquid staking protocol for the Root network's Root token is scheduled to launch in April or May. And once EVM sidechain is launched, we also plan to introduce a lending protocol on that platform as well. And our lending protocol has been fully developed and audited, and we're currently refining the service through some internal QAs. And moreover, once the XRPL native lending protocol feature is completed on the XRPL, Doppler Finance also intends to support it as well.
Great, that's great to hear. And one of the most sensitive questions that we received is who's behind Doppler Finance, and is Doppler Finance really backed by Ripple?
Yeah, so we did get a lot of questions regarding this, like who's behind this whole service and all. So just going clear to the point, Doppler Finance is developed by the team at called Girin Labs, and Girin Labs is supported by the XRPL Japan and Korea Fund, and also receives backing from companies such as Futureverse, among others. And we successfully completed a pre-seed round at the end of last year, and continue to receive ongoing business support from Ripple. And the Ripple relationship between Ripple and Girin Labs has been featured in several articles, and we're actually happy to share those if needed. And like regarding backed by Ripple narrative, Ripple advised us like shortly after our launch that publicly stating or like stating direct backing for yield or trading related products could be sensitive for them. So as a result, we removed the backed by Ripple keyword from our Twitter bio, but we're still discussing like the best way to communicate our relationship with Ripple externally.
Great, yeah, thanks for that explanation. And also, could you explain further about why the company is based in Panama?
Yeah, so Panama has crypto-friendly policies along with like robust financial privacy protections. And like many crypto services projects out there have established their foundations or offices there. So therefore, there's no like cause for concern about Doppler Finance operating from Panama. Because like a lot of the projects that you know, like renowned out there, actually have their foundations based in Panama.
Great, and the next question is something that most of the community will be very interested in. So many people are curious about how interest is generated on XRP. If the yield source isn't stable, then it could.
So let me get back to the chat here and just kind of cover some of the stuff there. So I think this is good. They talked about some future plans on the Root network and on the XRPL sidechain as far as lending. And then when the lending protocol for the XRPL gets out, they're going to support that as well. So, I mean, their future plans is to get to the XRPL. I think that's awesome. Now, I don't know if a lot of people knew that this was Girin Labs, you know, the people with the Girin wallet. And I remember Crypto Eddie telling me so on X that the people behind Doppler Finance, and I think I shared it with you guys, is actually Girin Labs. That's cool. So, you know, covering where they're housed, I think is important, where they're based out of, their headquarters. I think it's important. They're essentially saying that they're doing it because it's a crypto friendly, it's favorable stuff for crypto projects. So it's a favorable area or jurisdiction for crypto projects to launch. That's why they are where they are. So, and I think that's cool. But you know, the questions were asked and they answered them. So I think that is good. I did suspect, you know, this is why I posted what I did, because I posted in quotations. I find it very interesting the timing of these Ripple-backed projects are launching. I thought that was interesting, the timing of that. Okay, because this is kind of right after. Essentially, this is right after Flare Networks. Hugo Filion at Flare had mentioned they were looking to do some very, very similar things on Flare Networks. And the backed by Ripple thing, that's an alarm for a lot of people. And I thought for sure that Ripple was going to say something about that. I found it curious that Mayuka, apparently, you know, I don't know, maybe she's the head CTO at Ripple X Dev. She didn't know about the company, hadn't done any research on Strobe, or I guess maybe it was just Strobe, but she hadn't researched. But I did find that curious that she didn't know about them. But I knew there was going to be this challenge with, you know, saying Ripple backed. So essentially, they used Ripple backed because they got the seed funding as the Girin Labs entity, right, with the wallet and whatever else they're doing. So that's why they were saying that they were Ripple backed. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Again, I criticized Doppler because where they were making these posts and these announcements and this stuff, they weren't responding to people's questions in the post. This is, you know, a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was. They weren't responding to questions. People had concerns. They weren't responding. And so that's why a couple of days ago, or whatever it was, 3 days ago, I make that post to, hopefully get them to see that and do something like an AMA, right? Because it was just some genuine concerns. So shout out to them for being able to going ahead and actually doing this AMA. I think it's been pretty insightful. Um, and again, like we said on a stream or two or so, I still think for us it's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% participation with XRP for us in the CryptoCeej home. Um, and let this project and what they're looking to do grow, and allow us to get to know the team behind them more and more and more going, kind of going forward. All right, so let me get back here. Yeah, liquid staking for sure is a good thing. I think it's a lot of possibilities. Ski mask. All right, they're talking about people asking the question
Cause
about where are
major
you guys
issues
getting
with
this
certain
yield?
operation. So could you explain more about the yield source?
So when designing XRP-Fi, our primary concern was whether we could offer stable and meaningful yields. And currently XRP is not fully utilized within the on-chain DeFi ecosystem, and there are almost like no XRP-related expos or on other chains. And although XRP pool exists on the lending side of BNB chains, I think Venus protocol, the bridging process and like the high volatility of interest rates make it like really difficult to rely on a stable yield source. So therefore, achieving like high yields with limited risk is really challenging using only on-chain ecosystems at the current status. So as a result of—
So are you saying that the bridging cost to get to the BNB chain, there was some cost there, and then obviously there's not sustainable yield. But that's DeFi. DeFi, there is no sustainable yield, right? APRs go up and down, volumes go up and down, TVL goes up and down, and then these platforms adjust for those factors, right? So, but anyway.
We look to examples from the Bitcoin ecosystem and see DeFi services like BounceBit. So deposited XRP is utilized on exchanges through solutions such as Fireblocks Office Exchange or Seafood's MirrorX. And partner funds operate this XRP to generate returns. So given XRP's large market cap and price stability, it can generate sufficient returns on exchanges through various strategies. These include collateralized lending, arbitrage, and options trading. And we believe that using CDFI yield as a catalyst to activate XRPL's on-chain ecosystem and eventually transitioning to a more decentralized form of on-chain yield once the ecosystem is active and more alive is the best approach for the current state of the XRPL DeFi ecosystem. So moreover, like various on-chain yield sources will be out in the future. So please stay tuned for these updates on our protocol.
So, they have a plan, and they feel like the gateway and the initial door to provide some DeFi for XRP is you take an approach very similar to what BounceBit does. Cool, I get it, which is more like a CFI, centralized finance deal. And look, there's been and myself included, there's been a lot of concern about being able to use the XRP and be able to participate, right? Because the end goal is more activity on the XRPL. And what they're suggesting is let's take an initial step doing it this way with the decentralized finance to promote and build up activity, to get people comfortable in doing things, right? And this is what Flare Networks is doing. They're doing it in a different way completely. But how I have been hard on XRP holders for their unwillingness to participate in DeFi. And it kind of their mindset around the banks are going to, change everything for them. They'll just say, sit back and relax. And so I don't think that's it. First of all, it's technically less profitable doing that. Technically, it's less profitable, but it doesn't support the chain. hanging out and holding XRP does not support the chain's growth, just doesn't, right? And so being able to lend and participate and go up the network adoption curve is going to be massive. And so this is their way of kind of an initial introduction. Now, again, I said I only listen up to this point. So we'll be listening to the rest of this together. I want to know if they're covering the centralized third party parts of it, or do they have a mechanism to cover your assets? Because they're talking non-custodial wallet. They keep, they're using that phrase, but I want to know that's just what Fireblocks offers, this non-custodial wallet. So it's not just a phrase, that's what Fireblocks does. But I want to know about, I just deposited XRP in one of these 2 or 3 batches. Can I take my XRP out? Like immediately, like withdraw it immediately. And I also want to know about, any crap that hits the fan in terms of now it's in some type of bankruptcy like an FTX. I don't know. I don't know. Anything that can happen off the chain. Where does the XRP holders, whether they lie with their XRP if it's deposited somewhere? Because again, the fear is an FTX, a Nexo, and the Celsius. That's a fear, and that's a legitimate concern. That unexpected thing, right? What if there's some attack vectors for Fireblocks or these third parties? What if someone finds some vulnerability and decides to begin to promote something, and the next thing you know, there's a cascade of people withdrawn, and whatever causes some type of chapter, some type of bankruptcy of closing down, shutting. You don't know. It's the unexpected. And I know you can't protect against it completely, but I want to know if they are thinking about that and considering FTX. They gotta address the FTX and the Celsius and the Nexo concerns. That narrative and that, because it happened, right? And how is Doppler going to protect kind of against that?
Great. Thank you for the detailed explanation about the yield source. And as you mentioned, the entity executing the CDFI strategy is critical. So do you have plans to onboard CFI or institutional players as well?
Yes, definitely. We already have a couple of crypto funds and crypto asset management companies scheduled to be onboarded to Doppler. And additionally, there's another crypto asset management firm currently undergoing the due diligence for onboarding right now. But due to confidentiality agreements, regarding the scope of information disclosure, we can't reveal the names of the entities at this current moment. But we will share that information as soon as possible when we are able to.
That sounds good. As much as users are interested to hear more about the institutional, users are more interested to know about when users are able to start receiving the CDFI yield under XRP.
So up until this stage, we have been gradually opening the cap and have thoroughly validated the deposit and withdrawal processes. And in the next batch, the interest distribution logic will be fully integrated into the system so that users can see their balances reflecting the accrued interest. And the next batch is scheduled to start by March at the latest.
Great. So I understand how yield is generated, but the CDFI structure may still seem unfamiliar to the XRP community. So for this reason, it's very important to transparently share the potential risks associated with the CDFI structure. So what risks could arise within the XRP-Fi CDFI framework? And is there any risk of losing XRP?
So good question. So whether it's DeFi or CDFI, we believe it's crucial to transparently disclose all risk associated with the user's assets. So while we will address these questions in the AMA, we also continue to provide clear explanations through documentation, expos, and articles so that everyone in the XRP ecosystem can easily understand. So in a CDFI structure, the process of allowing institutions to use users' deposited assets necessitates the use of custody solutions like Fireblocks or Sifu that we're using, and which inherently introduces like additional risks. So while DeFi often adheres to the decentralization philosophy by allowing users to manage their assets with their own keys, the nature of CDFI means that custody providers must be involved. And the second risk pertains to the funds managing these assets. So even if these funds generate returns through delta neutral strategies, the unpredictable nature of the cryptocurrency market could still lead to losses. But to mitigate these, whenever we use services such as Fireblocks Off Exchange or Sifu's MirrorX, the funds managing the assets will be required to verify the XRP balance to a designated account at least once daily. And moreover, when entering contracts with these funds, we will structure the agreements as loans to minimize Doppler Finance's exposure to potential XRP losses. So we believe that all risk-related information should be transparently disclosed to the XRP community. And additionally, Doppler Finance is continuously in discussions with custody solution providers to actually ensure that our service becomes even safer and more decentralized.
Yeah, so that's awesome. That's awesome. So look, there is a third party. They keep talking about the funds that are managing the assets. You got to get that. That's a third party. There's a risk involved in doing that. But that's not to throw shade on Doppler Finance. This is about, opening up the curtain so that you're aware, of the risk. This is what Celsius' problem was. Celsius was doing stuff behind people's back, behind the depositors' back. They weren't telling them what they were doing. They just simply weren't. They didn't tell them about the $200 million bet and loss. They didn't tell them that next thing you know, they're taking everybody's funds, putting them together and doing none of that. There was just no disclosure. There was just no transparency with that. Meanwhile, doing live streams talking about proof of reserves and, all that stuff, right? So this is what Doppler Finance is trying to, not have that same thing with them. Explaining the risk so that you can make an intelligent decision with your XRP, whatever that is. My problem is XRP holders seem to think if they got 1,000 XRP, I'm not putting my 1,000 XRP in the Doppler Finance, right? And no one's saying that. No one's suggesting that, right? There are risks in everything that you do. So you take measured risk, right? It's measured risk. It's 1%. I mess around with people all the time, saying about $50. Do you got $50, right? And the reason why I say that, for me, that's investing in your knowledge about how things work and why they work or why they don't work, right? That type of deal. So I mention all the time, 1 to 5%, something like that. Maybe that's something that works for you. That would be something that would work for us in this situation. So I'm hearing crypto asset firms, I'm hearing funds managing assets. Those are third-party risk. And what I'm just saying, if there's a fund that's managing your assets and that fund, whatever that firm or fund is, that managing firm, if they have some type of challenge financially and they have to get into a bankrupt situation and they have your XRP, if that goes into current laws are not favorable to the depositors. They're just not. They're not favorable. The current Chapter 11 bankruptcy laws involving crypto firm, it's not good. It protects the firms. It doesn't protect the depositors. So you have to understand that. Like you got to understand that. So why would you put 95% of your XRP over there and take that risk, or 50% or 40% or 30% and take that risk? Certainly whatever stable yield is probably not worth it. 1%, 2%, 3%, maybe, right? That type of deal. That's kind of how I see it, right? Because again, it's not favorable. It's not that necessarily a crypto fund managing assets is looking to do something nefarious. But my point is, you don't know. Now they're going to say verify the deposits. Awesome. What if that firm's other business, besides managing XRP, gets into some financial headache challenge and has to file for bankruptcy? What if some employee decides they figured out a way to get over without letting people know? Do you understand? These type of things. These type of things happen, right? How do you think SIM swaps happen? Because an employee is willing to take, some quick, fast money from someone that's looking to do something nefarious, right? That's how SIM swaps happen, right? An employee at a company decides to take take $1,000 or $2,000 and turn over your stuff to someone, right? So there's always that possibility, in my view, with these third parties, right? And there are better solutions to this, right? This is what Flare Networks is looking to do, a better solution to the trust and reliance of third parties. You get that is what it is. And so my mitigation to this risk, in my opinion, the CryptoCeej home is 1%, 2%, 3% of my XRP. That's it, right? Some people might be, okay, here's $20 worth of XRP or $50 worth of XRP, right? That type of deal like that, just to kind of get exposure to what it's going to look like. Now, it's obvious to me that Doppler has a plan to eventually get onto the XRPL, right? It's obvious to me that they have a plan to eventually, be completing kind of DeFi on the XRPL, and they just think this is kind of a good entry way to do it. But exposing the risk is important. Now you got to be able to analyze that risk and say, am I willing to take a chance with $50 of XRP or $100, whatever? You understand what I'm saying? It's important to know the risk. And so those are the risks that I see thus far. Those are the risks in dealing with third parties, right? And so that's kind of how I see it. Rick Cisneros says it's a good start, but ultimately it needs to be completely decentralized. Correct. But what you can do with Doppler is just put in $50 to learn how to push buttons and understand the methodology. That's correct, Rick Cisneros. Well said, on a great point, right? So that's what it is. And I always tell people in Patreon and dealing with DeFi, you got to be willing to invest in your education, right? But some people just value that XRP as, that $50 is $500,000, and that's their mindset. They're not going to let go of it. But there's nothing you can do with that. There's nothing you can do with people like that. So they don't understand how money works, right? If you're thinking like that. So there's that. So, I mean, I applaud Doppler for answering these questions. It's only a few minutes left. We'll go over those for sure. B says, hard pass on this project. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Right. And so, again, for us, it's going to be 1 to 5%, somewhere around that range. If we can get in on one of these batches, I don't know what that's like as far as being able to get in there, because they got some weird times that they're doing these batches. I think 3, 4 in the morning for us. I think. I think. No, maybe 6 in the morning, because I think they did 1400 UTC before. So again, proceed with caution. It's not about being scared. It's about knowing the risk, assessing the risk, and then making decisions for yourself. That's what it's about. What's risky is not knowing the risk and just hopping in on stuff. This is why, Hugo and a couple other people, someone else posted they were alarmed. They were extremely alarmed without kind of knowing these risks, right? That's why someone posted on X and Hugo reposted it. It was something along the lines of, so let me get this right. This project that you don't have any disclosures, you're not aware of the risk, blah, 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 blah. And there's 2 million XRP have been think it was 2 million. XRP had to been deposited or something like that, right? Again, it's not known a risk, right? So people, kind of wanting yield and people kind of wanting to do something with the XRP, that just speaks to the demand. It just speaks to the demand for, think about it, 50 million XRP holder. That's a ton. It's not just the crowd listening to XRP entertaining content creators. You got to get it. There's a big, massive, massive amount of XRP holders. That's why doing these polls is like doing these polls on X about which crypto has the best technology or what's your favorite crypto. The XRP holder is going to be all over that. There's just not enough other. Maybe the Solana people could compete, but can compete in terms of numbers. But it's just a numbers thing. So those polls are not really an accurate reflection of anything other than a testament to how many XRP holders there are out there. That's all that poll is, in my view. Any of those polls, the one that Gary Cardone lost his mind responding to, the one Tristan Tate put up, that type of deal. All right, let's get back to the rest of this AMA. It's got 8 minutes left. Hopefully this is going to play.
Great. Thank you for addressing the risks. And so do you have any additional security measures in place, such as audits?
Definitely. So for all components that require auditing, including our upcoming lending services, we have obtained the necessary audits and are thoroughly reviewing everything. And we will disclose the names of the auditing firms as we move forward.
Great. Also, some of the community members were curious to know about why Doppler Finance is described as non-custodial. Could you clarify on this?
So yeah, this was one of the points that the community members made a lot. And we are aware that our current documentation might give the impression that Doppler Finance operates without any third-party custody involvement. And we are in the process of updating our docs to clearly explain our use of Fireblocks and the associated custody structure. So to explain why we labeled Doppler Finance as non-custodial is because the key distinction between custodial and non-custodial systems is whether users maintain full control over their assets with their own keys. In our case, we leverage Fireblocks multi-party computation or MPC functionality. And this means that our protocol does not have complete control over users' assets. Instead, control is distributed, and we cannot arbitrarily move users' assets or execute unauthorized transfers. And any action is performed with explicit user approval. So from this perspective, we believe that Doppler Finance could be viewed as non-custodial. So that's why, which is why our documentation was written that way. But going forward, we will update our docs to clarify the structure and keep the community informed on this.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So due to significant interest from US users, many are wondering if US citizens can actually use Doppler Finance. Also, considering that Doppler Finance aims to be a global service, is there any possibility for US investors to participate in the future?
So to be short, currently Doppler Finance restricts access for US citizens. And this limitation is in place because the US SEC and government impose stringent regulations on cryptocurrency and financial services. And to remain compliant, our terms of services include provisions that prohibit the use by US citizens and limit activities for US investors. And in the long run, Doppler Finance is committed to being a global service, and we strictly adhere to the virtual asset regulations in various jurisdictions. And we fully understand the interest from US investors and are actively exploring separate service options that will comply with US regulations. So in the end, our goal is to enable as many users as possible to safely and confidently use Doppler finance in the future.
Sounds good. Now shifting to the product, there's many questions about the service policy. Why is there a 7-day withdrawal period?
So due to the nature of our CDFI structure, it takes time to settle the results from the funds managing the XRP. So for instance, BounceBit from Bitcoin ecosystem generally enforces an unstaking period of 4 to 7 days. And when you look into the other ecosystems, many liquid staking services typically have even longer withdrawal periods. So when you look into the DeFi ecosystems, it is a pretty a normal procedure or normal term that a lot incorporate for their products.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So moving on to the native functionality. So some users have asked why Doppler Finance launched its services before the XRPL native lending protocol. Could you explain on this?
So looking at the community and all, it seems that some users assume that once the XRP ledger native lending protocol is available, it will automatically generate yield for XRP deposits. So they might wonder why we would launch a service using a CDFI structure. And many expect that a lending protocol would instantly provide a meaningful yield to depositors. But however, when you look at the early days of platforms like Aave or Compound at the Ethereum ecosystem, that wasn't the case. So in these lending services, higher yields depend on having a sufficient number of borrowers. And early on, lending volumes were not high enough. So even if an XRP native lending protocol goes live, we anticipated that its interest rates would be low at first. Therefore, we plan to launch on a CDFI platform before native lending is introduced.
Great. So, any questions? And thank you, Ross, for answering all these questions. And we're now at our last question.
So essentially what he's saying is they want to ramp up and build up, right? They want to ramp and grow users. They want to, they want to grow the activity of the platform, getting more and more people on there before the lending protocol actually gets built out and put onto the XRP ledger. Because then when they get to the ledger, they'll have that base, if you will, customer base for lending and borrowing. So that makes sense. That certainly makes sense to me, for sure. All right, so the last question.
Do you have any final words for the XRPO community?
So from the very beginning of our planning, Doppler Finance has believed that the XRPL ecosystem holds even greater growth potential than other DeFi ecosystems. And this is because XRP is one of the most powerful cryptocurrencies. Its holders are exceptionally loyal, and it's widely recognized by institutions as one of the most acceptable blockchains. And we're already seeing more builders moving on to XRPL and witnessing the emergence of various innovative services. And given these trends, we believe that the XRPL on-chain ecosystem is poised for more and more explosive growth. So over the past 5 years, as we watched the DeFi ecosystems evolve, one key insight emerged. An ecosystem must grow to attract on-chain liquidity, and which in turn fuels diverse financial activities and further expands the ecosystem. So to foster this, collaboration, open discussion among DeFi builders is essential. And moreover, with the upcoming XRPL EVM sidechain and enhanced programmability on the XRPL itself, the technical infrastructure is being built to allow more and more DeFi services to interconnect and compose with one another. And as one of the builders for XRP-Fi and a financial service for XRP, we're really excited about growing this ecosystem together. And we warmly welcome any feedback or questions that you guys might have. So, I mean, thank you for all the.
Poor guy. Right, not comfortable in the limelight, if you will. So, but shout out to him for taking on that challenge, getting in, getting outside his comfort zone, and kind of tackling some questions. But you can tell for sure that is not his wheelhouse. He's not comfortable in that. He's probably just a really, really smart guy looking to build some really, really cool stuff. So, but shout out to him to be willing to kind of take those questions and kind of deal with that stuff. So, for me, again, it eased a lot of concerns for me. For me, I'll be doing 1% to 2%, 1% to 3%, 1% to 4%, whatever that looks like, because there's a vision there with Doppler. They have a goal and a plan. More importantly, they have a vision of what can happen on the XRPL for XRP holders. On-chain activity is the way. The reason we had the outro from the day one is because this is something that we noticed and we got confirmation from it from people like Raw Paul. But we noticed this in 2017. 2017. Are you participating? Are you participating? Right? That is the key. That is the question. The ecosystem growth happens for participation. Solana is killing the game because they got a bunch of crazy, loyal, active users. We have just crazy and loyal, but not users. Not users. Big, 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 big um, um, bucket of XRP holders. It's big, but it's not active users. It is not. And especially in the US. And so, we look to change that. And so, I'm certain that the vast majority of that, all that XRP is coming from Japan and Korea. Certain of that, because they're willing to look, South Korea and Japan, are, what's the word I want to, they enjoy being active in the ecosystem. They enjoy that. In fact, it's almost like I don't want to use that phrase, but it's to them, they're like it makes them sick to their stomach and not being able to participate and be active with their XRP. Okay, they especially DeFi. Okay, just understand that. So again, for me, this answered a lot of questions. After years, you get a sense of who's sincere, who's genuine, who's looking to build something out, right? So for me, that 1 to 5% of my XRP over there, it's not about the yield. It's not about the yield. It's about the bigger picture of a thriving ecosystem of active users. This is going to attract the builders. You want fun stuff? Participate. And you'll get more and more fun stuff, more and more builders. Because the builders see, just like he said, the builders see the market cap. They see the mass liquidity. But I promise you, if there are no users, they will go to Solana. They're going to go to where the users are. They have a business to run. Okay? So just understand that. It's the bigger picture. It's beyond just yield. It's beyond just yield. If you really value your XRP, you'll participate in the ecosystem. If you really value it, we got to walk away from this nonsense that I'm just going to let institutions and banks hop on the XRPL and it's going to make me rich. I haven't seen a blockchain where that's worked yet. It's been since 2009. You can't tell me about a blockchain where that strategy has worked. Waiting on institutions and banks. Right? So the activity comes from retail on-chain. That's the answer in my view. And you can't tell me different until you can show me a chain that did it differently. Right? So what Flare Networks and Hugo was saying is what we're building out mitigates that third party type of risk. In addition to that, we're going to offer true decentralization, true security, and true scalability. That's what Hugo was saying. What the retail was saying, yeah, but how long is it going to take? You understand? That's what retail is saying. Yeah, but how long is this going to take? There's a lot of impatience there, right? It's a lot of impatience. So this is why we participate in DeFi and other ecosystems, so that we are comfortable in DeFi and so that we know what we're doing and we know how to generate yields. We know how to know what's a good DeFi platform and what is not a good DeFi platform. What's good yield and what's not good yield. What's a good strategy and what's not a good strategy. You don't want to just wait until the last minute being uneducated with no skills and hopping into DeFi. You want to level up the skill set. This is the answer, right? And so, we're going to have, for me, we're going to have to learn from our fellow Koreans and fellow Japanese about active participation in an ecosystem, right? Think about 2 batches filled up in 15 minutes or less, right? So, and now they have a better sense of the risk. They have a better sense of the risk with this AMA. And so that's important. That's what it's about as an investor, assessing, becoming aware of the risk and assessing the risk versus reward. Right? And just like the book Ergodicity says, you're losing out by not taking measured risk on stuff that has the potential awesome upside. This may or not have a potential awesome upside in terms of yield, but for me, the potential awesome upside is increasing the level of activity, increasing the number of daily active users to the XRPL. We want the blockchain for XRP holders. We want the blockchain to go up and to the right of the network adoption curve. What this guy said was, he used the phrase attract users. Where did I write that at? I must have wrote that somewhere else. Anyway, that's what he used. He used the phrase attracting more users. At the end, he talked about that final question. What do you have to say to the community? In the end, it's about a growing ecosystem that attracts builders and developers. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. And so it's cool to see that they're on that journey to kind of help fix the lack of DApps on the XRPL, the lack of daily active users, new wallets on the XRPL. And just like Raul Paul said, by the way, he said just having an institution on it ain't going to cut it, because they tend to just come with a bunch of money, but it's only one transaction. He just said that in the interview with Paul Barron. They don't tend to be hanging around making a bunch of transactions, burning a bunch of extra. They kind of come with just one transaction per year, or maybe even per 2 years. Every 2 years. Let me see if I can't pull up another interesting clip with Raul Paul and talking about XRP. I think Doppler Finance shared this. Let me see if I can't find it. And it kind of speaks to what I'm saying. Someone's invited me to hop on a Twitter Spaces for Flare Networks. I'm looking forward to that. All right, let me share this real quick. Paul asked a question about, XRP Fi and what could it possibly mean for XRP holders. Take a listen.
Do we still see upside here for us? Let's flip over to XRP. Doppler Finance announced we started to see basically DeFi on XRP. The potential here is pretty significant. They just had their second batch now come out, so their total value around 2 million. So it has launched, XRP DeFi. So what are your thoughts on this? Any implications as to how XRP does in the market overall? Do we still see upside here for XRP?
The more that's built on top of XRP. So XRP is in an exalted situation because there's a lot of holders. But
XRP is in an exalted situation because there's a lot of holders. But right after that, he says, but.
the activity was, A, under pressure because of under lawsuits.
Yeah.
And B, a lot of it was the potential of how much can we use for stuff. And there is a reasonable amount of use of the XRP ledger. But if you're starting to build new applications like DeFi on top, you're only going to build value in Metcalfe's law terms, which is network value. So it can only be a net positive if people start to use it, because there's a lot of users, there's not enough things they can do with their XRP. So we've had some memes on it.
Not enough stuff people can do. People want stuff to do, but they don't want to use their XRP to attract builders that'll build more stuff for you to do. It's that simple. It's not hard. Let me see. If you guys want to hear his comment about institutions and how the institution tends to just do one thing, let me know. I can see if I can find it in this same very interview.
XRP, that was a use case. More DeFi and XRP, more use case. Then you've got something much bigger than the original thing. So, for me, all blockchains about proving yourself and proving network value by building value. And if they can do that, good for them.
That's right. It's about proving yourself, network value, and building value for users. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line to it all. There's no mystery. There's no magic pill button to press. None of that. It's none of that. It's none of that. Right? Ethereum got to where it is because of that. It's bottom line. Now you could say it was a free pass and all that stuff. Awesome. Awesome. But it's the bottom line. Grow the activity. Grow the activity. More builders will come. The more builders will come, the more stuff that will happen you'll be able to do, which will increase the activity. It's the bottom line. But if you see the bigger picture and you see the underlying technology of the XRPL and you understand that, it's going to be bigger than what you think. It's going to be bigger than what we're thinking it's going to be. Because the XRPL is awesome. The DEX and the AMM are awesome. But nobody knows. You understand? No one knows. And so you got projects like Doppler and others who see it from the builder standpoint. They see the large amount of loyal. I mean, it's a builder and or project's dream come true. Loyal users. We got the loyalty down. We got the massive amount of holders. Now we just got to check that third box in the formula, which is users using the XRPL. And that doesn't mean, don't worry. That doesn't mean you got to take the death grip off your ledger. Don't worry. Do you have $50? Do you have $50 to participate? If you don't, just borrow it from your kid. They got $50. They're playing all these games on their Xboxes and stuff, buying up all these weapons and shields and stuff. They got a recurring bank card or something that you don't even know about. Buying stuff. Just borrow $50 from your kid. But see, I'm here to try to help you see the bigger picture. The user activity is the key. It's the key. It's the answer. Increase the user activity. Just let one finger off your death grip of your ledger. Just one. Come up with 50 bucks. Come up with 50 bucks, you'll be good. Mastermind 5 is in the building. What's going on, bro? You becoming good at this, CJ. Thank you, man. James Turner said he got some in there. I got some XRP in on there. Let's see what happens while supporting ecosystem. There it is, right there. Listen to James. It's not hard. It's just right. You got $5, $10. You know you can enter into liquidity pools with $5 and $10. Did you know that? Get your feet wet, get a better understanding of not just pushing buttons, but how DeFi actually works. $5, $10. I can't wait for more and more people to realize, like, the answer has been DeFi all this time. I didn't know. Here's what I'll tell you who knows the answer is DeFi. The institutions. They know the answer is DeFi. Like they know. And here's the thing that I'll tell you. I said this on the channel one time again. You and I love the fact that we can go to Arbitrum and Optimism and Solana and Avalanche and pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 cents per transaction. And we're like jumping up. We're jumping up for joy, baby. And these things happen in less than 3 minutes or less than 2 minutes, the transaction. So it's not as fast as the XRPL ledger, no, but it happens really fast, right? And we're paying 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cents. I mean, we're pumped. We're pumped. But the hedge funds and these institutional firms, when they get less than 3 seconds 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny, when they get that word, it's over. But if they got a product that we can use, but they don't see any activity, they're not coming with their little product. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Participate. Just participate. Invest in your learning. You're invested in you, bro. You're invested in you. Walk away from this nonsense of your precious XRP. If it was precious to you, you would be participating. It's not my math. It is not my math, and it is not my formula. It's the crypto's math and formula. You want number go up? Number goes up from demand for the native asset. The more projects, the more demand for the native underlying asset of the blockchain. The way that you get more projects is by participating in the one you got. The builders will see it. The builders understand the massive amount of XRP holders, and they understand to a certain extent the prowess of the XRPL. I'm telling you, the DeFi dudes, Austin King said it. Austin King said that you should have seen that they were lining up, knocking on his door, trying to get a hold of this RLUSD. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Because of Ripple, the company? You think it's because of Ripple, the company? Or is it the 50 million XRP holders? All right, fam. There it is. I ranted long enough. Keyless, what's going on, miss? Appreciate you checking in. I'm just trying to share the bigger picture because I've seen it happen in the Solana ecosystem. I'm watching it right now in the Sui ecosystem. I know you're waiting. I know you're waiting for a thing to come. Feels like this is the Doppler thing. We thought it was going to be Orchestra Finance and Moy Finance. Haven't heard a peep from them. Don't know why. Don't know why. Lately, just nothing. Root Network is kind of trying to do their thing as well, but I need to see more on the XRPL and not, we need to see more on the XRPL, not just the Root Network. But there's a solution for you. You got $50. I know you do. I know you can come with $50. I know you can come up with 50. And be like James, right? That's what we're going to do from the stream from now on. Be like James. Be like James Turner. All right, fam. There it is. Appreciate you guys big time for checking in. Do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That would be really, really awesome and super, super cool. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the CryptoCeej, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying the hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're in a mad dash to get to 9,000 subs by the end of this month. And I know that we can get there, especially with your help. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.